Okay, Esau and Jacob, this was Isaac's son, who was the son of Abraham. This is what started all. Abraham was the father of this nation, his son Isaac, and then he had two sons, Esau and Jacob. And they were born together. They were twins. Esau means hairy, because a guy came out hairy and red. And another name was Edom, and which is red. And Jacob came out, and he was grabbing his brother's heel, and so Jacob actually means heel catcher. And there's actually another reference to his name, which means deceiver. And you don't hear much about their story, except one time, Jacob was kind of a stay-at-home kid, and Esau, he loved being outside in the field. And Esau came in one time, and he had been out all day, I guess, and his brother was cooking this soup, and he was starving. He said, "Man, give me some of that soup." And Jacob said, "Well, some of your birthright." He's like, "What's a birthright to me? I'm famished. I'm going to starve to death. I don't care." He goes, "Well, swear to me." He goes, "All right, there's my birthright. Go ahead." So he fed him. All right. Then you don't hear anything else about him. But at 40 years old, Esau marries a couple of Hittite women, and that didn't go over too well. And then there came a time when Isaac, his days were numbered, and he knew it. And he's going to pass the blessing on to his firstborn son, which was Esau. So he says, "Hey, go out in the field, catch me my game, bring it in, cook it, and I'm going to give you the blessing for the rest of your life." Well, their mom, Isaac's wife, heard this, Rebecca, right? Rebecca. And so she gets Jacob she makes the food and gets Jacob to go on, puts lambskin, because see, Isaac can't see right now, so he's got to go by touch. And he so he was deceiving him, putting on this skin. So it ends up Isaac thought that Jacob was Esau, so he gave him the blessing. All right? A little while later, Esau comes home. "Here I am, Dad. I'm ready for the blessing. Here's your kill." He's like, "Who are you?" He goes, "It's Esau, your son." He goes, "I'm sorry. I guess your brother deceived me. I gave him the blessing, so now it's all on him." And when Esau heard his father's words, he burst out in a loud and bitter cry, and he said to his father, bless me too, Father." But he said, "Your brother came and deceitfully, and he took your blessing." And Esau said, "Isn't he rightly named Jacob? He has deceived me these 2 times. He took my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you reserved anything for me?" And a little bit later, here's Esau's heart. Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. And he said to him, "The days of mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." So he was pretty mad. And when I read that, I thought, did I steal a birthright from my brother? Yeah, he's younger. But what was that birthright? Did I steal his right to be loved? Did I steal his right to have a sense of value or worth? Man. Now, we lived in the same house, same parents, same deal. But he had something I didn't have. He had a big brother to look up to. That was me. Wow. So where are you guys at with this? All right? I know I'm not the only one in a broken relationship, right? Because this world is full of it. Stephen made a very good point. He says this whole Bible, this is all about God reconciling us to him. Okay? So my Bible ends, end of Revelation is page 1950, right? Back here, when Adam, messed it up for all of us and he ate from that tree that he wasn't supposed to, that's page 10. So for 1,940 pages, God is reconciling us to him. All right? That's what this is all about. And it's about relationship. And it's not just about us reconciling to him. What is the tool he uses? What are we doing here? We're building relationships. So where are you in that? Who is it? Is that a familiar story for you? Maybe it's a different face. Maybe it's a different name, different person. But what's that look like to you? Because I know this, we can't stay here, all right? If we have a relationship with God and we are Christ followers, we can't sit here. We can't just hold on to where we're at. That's not what God wants. This relationship, it moves forward. God moves forward, and we have to go with it. As a matter of fact, 1 John, in case there was any question, 1 John says, "Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and His love is made complete in us." See, that's part of the process of becoming whole with God. It is working on these relationships. We love because He loved us first. If anyone says, "I love God," yet hates his brother, he's a liar. For anyone who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, cannot love God, whom he has not seen. And He has given us this command: whoever loves God must love his brother. Okay, so that takes any doubt out of that, right? See, for me, I'm thinking, it's been too many years. Man, that bitterness in his heart has probably sank way too deep, God. We've moved on. We've got separate lives now. How is that going to work? So later on, all right, Jacob's been gone for 20 years. See, moving into what God wants us to do, sometimes that means moving back into what we passed along the way. Okay? For me, that's my brother. And here's another thing. If God is going to ask us to do these things, He's already at work in it, okay? And this is something I have learned along the way. If God is in it, then I need to move in it. And how do I determine if God's not in it? When I turn in a direction and there's nothing going right, that's Steve leading it. But if God's asking me to do something, I have to believe and know that He's already in that situation. He's not telling me to go somewhere He's not at. He's already preparing the way. Don't you think? See, it's 20 years later now, and here's what God says to Jacob. Okay, so Jacob left. His brother was going to kill him, so he takes off. 20 years he's gone. But God had a plan for Jacob. See, he was going to have these 12 kids, which he did. And they were going to become the nation of Israel. And out of that line, kings came. And as a matter of fact, Jesus Christ comes from his line. Okay? So God said, and the Lord said to Jacob, "Go back to the land of your fathers and your relatives, and I will be with you." See, for him to move forward with God, he had to go back and restore that relationship. And what was that last line? God said, "I will be with you." All right? So what's that going to look like for you guys today? All right, as we discuss that, let me read the questions. Question 1. I made this great confession 6 months ago, and it really cleared my heart out of all the shame and all the guilt and all those dark secrets I held on to for all those years. And maybe that's why God's bringing this back to me now, because I am ashamed of that. That's my brother. I don't have any other siblings. My dad's passed away. My mom's in a nursing home. He doesn't have anybody else. Is there anyone in your life that you have written off, ignored, treated as unimportant, or maybe committed a wrong against, or maybe you have been the one that was written off? There's another side of that coin. Ignored or treated as unimportant, or have been wronged by someone else. Who is that person, and what were the circumstances leading up to the destruction of that relationship? All right? Second question. What is your part or next step in correcting that relationship? Maybe it's an email, phone call, lunch. Maybe it's making right a wrong you've done. Talk about it at the tables today. Pray about what's your next step. And as Stephen says, we got to leave that junk out. This is no time to pretend, no time to put on that game face. Let's open up and deal with it. We've all got something. Let's find out what it is. 1, 2, 3, go.